Welcome students. Our today's topic is torque acting on a current loop. In the 10th standard, you have learned about the electric motor which converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy. For example, electric fans, water pumps, drill machines and industries. For the different purposes, electric motors are used. The principle behind the working of electrical motor is nothing but the magnetic forces acting on the current carrying wire that we have studied in the previous article. By using the same concept, we will find out here torque acting on the current loop and also explain the actual action of rotational motion in the electric motor, neglecting the external circuit of electric motor. As shown as in the diagram, consider ABCD is the rectangular loop having the length L and breadth is B of the current carrying wire placed in the uniform magnetic field B directed from north to south and shown by the vector B, such that the segments AB and CD of the loop are perpendicular to direction of magnetic field vector B. Then as the current passes through the rectangular loop, each segment of the loop behaves as the current carrying conductor and therefore it will experience the magnetic force due to the magnetic field. This force can be calculated by using the formula F is equal to ILB multiplied by sine theta. This formula we have derived in the previous lecture. Force on the two sides BC and AD. We consider that the two sides BC and AD initially are parallel to direction of magnetic field and therefore the angle between the sides BC and AD with the direction of magnetic field will be 0 and therefore F2 is equal to F4, forces acting on side BC and AD. That is F2 is equal to F4 will be equal to I into B, small b, where small b is the length of the side BC and AD, that is equal to breadth of the rectangle, and therefore IB into capital B multiplied by sine of 0 degree, as here angle theta is equal to 0. Sine 0 is equal to 0 and therefore this will become 0. This is equation number 1. Force acting on the sides AB and side CD, as both the sides are perpendicular to direction of magnetic field and both are having the same length passing the same current. Angle between the direction of current and magnetic field will be 90 degree. Therefore, F1 is equal to F3. This is equal to IL into capital B multiplied by sine 90 degree. As sine 90 is equal to 1, this force will become ILB. This is equation number 2. Forces acting on the sides AB and CD are equal in magnitude, which is equal to ILB. But their directions are different because the direction of the current are different through the AB and CD. Therefore, the directions of F1 and F3 are determined by using the right hand rule. Suppose this is the rectangular loop ABCD. This is the side DC. Current passing through DC is from D to C. Held our right hand in such a way that three fingers are mutually perpendicular to each other. Pointing finger is in direction of current, middle finger is in direction of magnetic field, and then the thumb gives the direction of magnetic force acting on this side. Here force due to the magnetic field is in the downward direction, that is shown here by F3, which is downward and perpendicular to the plane of the rectangular coil. Now force acting on the side AB. This is side AB passing the current from B to A. Now again the forefinger of the right hand is in the direction of current. Middle finger is in the direction of magnetic field, and then the stretched thumb gives the direction of magnetic force and here the thumb is in upward direction, and therefore magnetic force acting on this first side, that is the AB, is in the upward direction as shown as in the diagram. F1 is upward and perpendicular to plane of the coil. Now as here the two forces F1 and F3 are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, but they are not along the same line. They are separated by small distance b equal to breadth of the rectangle. Therefore they are not collinear. They forms the torque, and this results into the rotation of the coil along the axis which is passing through the midpoints of side BC and AD, that is called as the central axis, and the coil rotates in the anti-clockwise direction. For example, again imagine this is the rectangular coil ABCD. This is the central axis. Now forces acting on the side BC and the side AD are zeros from equation number 1, but force acting on the side AB and CD are ILB, equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. One is in upward direction and another force is in the downward direction, and that these two forces forms the torque, and due to this torque the coil rotates about the axis of rotation, so that the plane of the coil will become perpendicular to direction of magnetic field. Now we will find out the torque acting on the coil in the rotated position as shown as in the figure B. In the figure B, we are observing the cross section of the coil ABCD from the side BC, and therefore this is the side BC whose length is equal to small b, that is the breadth of the rectangle. Now for this purpose we define the area vector n cap. Consider this is the plane of the rectangle coil and this is the perpendicular to the plane of rectangular coil, that is the area vector n cap. Initially the plane of the coil was parallel to direction of magnetic field and area vector was like this. Now when the coil is rotated, the area vector n cap has made the angle theta with the direction of magnetic field, and therefore the angle between the side here BC and the direction of magnetic field B is nothing but the 90 minus theta. In this situation, force acting on the side BC, F2 is equal to I, length of the side BC is here B, multiplied by capital B into sine of 90 minus theta, since the angle between here BC and direction of magnetic field is 90 minus theta. And the same force will be exerted on the side AD also, and therefore this is equal to F4. Means the equal forces acting on the side BC and AD, which are given by I into small b into capital B sine 90 minus theta. But the directions of these forces can be simply find out by using the right hand rule. Imagine this is the rectangular coil ABCD. This is the central axis. Coil is rotated through the small angle, so that the area vector has made the angle theta with the direction of magnetic field. Now this is the side BC, current passing from C to B. Now stretch the four fingers of the right hand in the direction of current and curl these four fingers towards the direction of magnetic field. Then the thumb gives the direction of magnetic force, and here the thumb is in the outward direction away from you along the central axis. Now force acting on this side AD, now force acting on the side AD, current passing from A to D. Now again stretch the four fingers in the direction of current, curl the stress fingers from the direction of current towards the direction of magnetic field, then thumb gives the direction of magnetic force. Means here it is clear that the thumb is towards you, and therefore magnetic force acting on the side AD is towards you. Means from both the cases it is clear that the force acting on the side BC and force acting on the side AD are equal in magnitude but in opposite direction along the central line, that is the central axis. And as they are along the same line, they are collinear, and therefore they will cancel with each other. They will not conjugate the torque. The magnitude of the forces acting on the side AB and CD, that is the F1 and F3, will remains same, that is ILB given by equation 2 we have calculated in the previous situation. That magnitude will remain same in the all rotated positions. And the directions of these two forces determined by using the right hand rule, the directions will remains the opposite to each other, but they are not collinear. And as the forces F1 and F3 are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, but not along the same line, they are separated, and therefore these two forces are not collinear. They forms the torque, and this results into rotation of coil. Now we will find out the magnitude of the torque due to the force F1. Torque is nothing but the product of force and perpendicular distance of it from the axis of rotation. Therefore torque due to the force F1, torque 1 is equal to F1 multiplied by R, where R is here the perpendicular distance between the axis of rotation which is passing through point O and the line of action of force. Now as the area vector n cap makes the angle theta with the direction of magnetic field, by the geometry of the figure, the side BC will make the angle with the direction of F1, that is also equal to theta, and the side BO, that will be equal to B by 2, that is the half of the breadth, and therefore sin theta is equal to R divided by B by 2. Therefore R is equal to B by 2 multiplied by sin theta. Substituting the value here, torque 1 is equal to F1 is nothing but IL into capital B from the equation 2 multiplied by B by 2 into sin theta. Rearranging the equation, 1/2 IL into small b into capital B sin theta. This is nothing but the torque due to the force F1. Now torque due to the force F3 will be same as this torque 1, and therefore torque 2 is equal to 1/2 ILB into capital B multiplied by sin theta, and the total torque acting on the coil total torque acting on the coil ABCD will be equal to addition of these two torques, and therefore total torque acting on the loop is equal to torque 1 plus torque 2. This is equal to 1/2 IL into small b multiplied by capital B into sin theta, torque 1 plus torque 2, 1/2 I into small l into small b into capital B sin theta, and this is nothing but I into small l into capital B sin theta. Now here this L into B, now this small l into small b, nothing but the length multiplied by breadth of the rectangle. This is nothing but the area of the rectangle, and therefore here I into capital A into capital B multiplied by sin theta. This is nothing but the equation number 4, and this is the torque acting on the coil having the single loop, that is equal to I A B sin theta, where I is the current passing through coil, A is the area of the coil, B is the magnetic field induction. Now if the coil is made up of the n number of turns, then the total torque acting on the coil, torque dash, is equal to n multiplied by torque on the one loop, where n is the number of turns, and therefore torque dash, that is total torque, is equal to n I A B multiplied by sin theta. This is the final expression for the total torque acting on the coil having n number of the turns, and this equation is valid for all the types of planar or flat coils irrespective of their shapes.